Right now, there's probably a phone near you. The second you get bored, your thumb already knows what to do. Unlock, scroll. It's automatic. Now, picture this instead. No phone, no TV, just you, a fire, and a whole night ahead of you with nothing to do. That was normal for humans for hundreds of thousands of years. So, what did they actually do with all that empty time? Turns out some ancient humans had a lot more free time than you'd think. Groups who lived by hunting and gathering food often only spent 4 or 5 hours a day finding food. That's it. The rest of the day, wide open. So yes, they got bored a lot, and that boredom had to go somewhere. Scientists who studied tribes still living this way today noticed something cool. During the day, people talked about normal stuff, food, chores, who did what. But at night, once the fire was lit, everything changed. People started telling stories, myths, jokes, gossip about people from other camps, tales about their ancestors. The fire didn't just give them light, it gave them something to do with their boredom. And that might be the very first form of entertainment humans ever had. Every movie night, every group chat full of memes, every story you've ever told your friends, it all goes back to people sitting in the dark, bored, making stuff up. But stories weren't the only fix. Around 5,000 years ago in Egypt, someone carved a board into 30 little squares. They call it sonnet. It's the oldest board game we've ever found, buried in the tombs of pharaohs. Around the same time, in another part of the world, people were playing a completely different game with dice made out of bone. That one's called the Royal Game of and we found copies of it thousands of miles away from where it started. People all over the ancient world who never even met each other kept inventing games on their own, over and over again. That's not a coincidence. That's boredom doing exactly what boredom does, pushing your brain to invent something. Here's the part that connects straight to you. Your brain actually has a special mode that only turns on when you're bored. Scientists call it the default mode network. It switches on when you're staring at nothing, waiting in line, sitting with absolutely nothing to do. And here's the surprising part. That nothing mode is actually when your brain does some of its best thinking. In one experiment, people were given a boring task first, just copying random numbers, before being asked to think of creative uses for a plastic cup. The bored group came up with way better ideas than the group that skipped the boring part. Being bored first actually made people more creative. So, those ancient humans sitting by the fire with nothing to do? Their brains were doing the exact same thing yours does when you're bored, except back then, that boredom turned into stories, into games, into traditions we still use today. Here's the twist, though. That same creative brain mode doesn't turn on the same way when you're scrolling or watching something. Your phone doesn't just fill up your boredom, it blocks the exact process boredom is supposed to trigger. Ancient humans never cured boredom. They just let it sit there and their brains turned it into something amazing. We built a cure so good, it might be shutting down the one thing boredom was actually for. So, next time you're bored and your phone's nearby, try leaving it there a little longer. See what your brain comes up with. What would you do with an entire night and no screen?